what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below this video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Abraham Muhammad, Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvault, Bern Factil, My Stomach is as Flat as the Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakier Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Erin Jennisons, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin', Jeranism, Kirsten Smith, Liam Nedrick, Life is Short, Matt, Nagara, Naibai, Guitar Craig, Reinhardt, Rene, Sally Bellis, Silver Umbrella, Skeptic936, The Flat Earth Channel, let's get that right, theflatearthchannel.com, and the Flat Earth Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock app. Tina Baker and Tom Herkins. Massive thanks to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now, I do have a few people already in both G Plus and Discord, so I'll raise the mic on them, and you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for the first live show.
Hello, hello.
Hey, Chris is always come on.
So, Jimmy, where are you from? What are you in the States? Are you in Europe? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New England. I'm currently in the state of Vermont.
Okay. Most people in New England are in the state of ecstasy.
No, we're usually in the state of cancer and depression.
Good comeback, especially with the Patriots losing on Monday night.
Oh, depression's everywhere. It affects the whole state.
Oh, I know, it's right on football.
I was a Green Bay Packers fan in New England, so that didn't work out so well.
Yeah, I bet not.
Yeah, they called me a traitor. I said, I prefer the better football team. Excuse me.
I'm from Vermont also.
Who's in Vermont?
Check from Discord.
Who's that in Discord?
Fuzzy Ewok. I'm from Vermont also.
Oh, Ewok.
Oh,
Ewok.
excellent. I'm near the Springfield area.
Down near Bennington.
Okay. I don't think we're too far from each other.
Springfield, eh? Dun, dun,
Nothing in Vermont
dun.
is too far away from each other. It's all pretty close.
I'm surrounded by mountains that I can't wait to explore and maybe get some observation footage from.
Hey, I have from yesterday's show. If the Earth is spinning, we would see Coriolis effect. We see Coriolis effect, therefore the Earth is spinning. Well, what do we call that?
Confirming the consequent formal logical fallacy.
Right, so let me try the FPD version. If the Earth is spinning, we would see airplanes fly shorter flight times from Charlotte, North Carolina to California. We don't see airlines having shorter flight time from Charlotte to LA. Therefore, the Earth is not spinning. We can do the same.
Sure.
That's stupid. It's just a stupid way of arguing.
We came up with the concept of Coriolis insurance years ago. And I think one of the selling points could be, think about this. You have a tree near your house. It begins to fall. If you had Coriolis insurance, and the earth moved your house underneath the tree as it was falling, you would be covered.
Very good. Can you? I can't control the volumes of each of you in the Hangouts anymore. Now it's not the on-air version. Is there any chance you can somehow lower your gain or lower your output volume?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do what I can. I have to speak lower. My mic's very sensitive.
Take it in for counseling.
Yeah. Does this sound any better?
That's perfect. You're at the same level as everyone else now.
Okay.
So go on with your Coriolis insurance.
Coriolis insurance, and you know you're going to get customers. If there's a meteor shower, and the Earth turned enough for your house to move underneath the crashing meteor, you would be covered.
It's not going to get
I
covered here
anymore. I kind of think some of the globe heads wouldn't buy that, which would show that they don't even believe it.
Go on, Travis.
Give some good examples. Yeah, like that. Like
Anybody
the tree fall, which is like the football getting through the goalposts because of Coriolis.
Can you guys hear me okay? Over?
Yes.
Yeah, just turned you up a bit.
Okay. Have you ever seen a meteor going up?
Oh, yes.
Or a shooting star going up?
Yes.
Because I've always seen them going in a downward trajectory everywhere.
I've seen them going up as
Every
well.
time I've ever seen
I've seen it go from horizon to sky, yes.
Yeah,
to vertical.
I've seen that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're not
Several.
pulling my leg.
Not pulling your leg.
Oh, no, several. Yeah.
It's far more dramatic than that. So if you can find an area of low light, you know how people will point out that if you put on like IR, whatever they're called, goggles, you can see more of the sky and what's going on, and there's all sorts of crazy shit going on. Well, you don't need the goggles. You just need an area of very, very low light. And you can see all of that kind of crazy stuff going on, things flying around all over what seems to be the very high altitudes. But it just takes some time for your eyes to adjust to that kind of level of light. And I've said this many times before, my folks used to live on a farm in an area of Britain that was the lowest light pollution anywhere, because it was in the middle of nowhere, there was no one around. You know, the nearest neighbour was half a mile away. So there was no light pollution, there's no street lamps, there's nothing. So you could just sit there. They had a hot tub, it was fantastic. You turn all the lights off and you could sit there comfortably warm for hours on end, looking up, getting wrinkly, but seeing that kind of stuff taking place. And yes, absolutely, the stuff that goes from horizon to sky that you see shooting up, as you put it.
Wow. Well, thank you. That's a question I've been asking for a while.
Have you ever heard of a crash occurring during a meteor shower? Like an actual meteor entering the atmosphere and crashing? Or is it just streaks of light?
Just streaks of light, but there's lots of reports that they crash. Claims that they crash.
Entering from where?
Well, from a second law of thermodynamics violation called the sky vacuum into our atmosphere without containment, of course. Where else? That's what they claim.
No, you just don't understand.
You're right, I don't. I have no idea what those lights in the sky are, what they're doing, or how they're doing it. I know that there's some that are more bright than others, and some that move in strange ways. One gets called the ISS.
I think it used to be called Mir.
That was the Russian name for it.
There was another one as well, Skylab.
You know what I was thinking about the other day? I was actually thinking about, obviously the flat Earth paradigm or reality or whatnot, and then I started thinking about the Bermuda Triangle and what the hell that really could be, or if it's if it's anything, or if it's like more land or something. Anybody ever thought about that? Just curious, because we're in the pre-show.
I don't know how much credence I lend this to, but I think on the quadrupole projection of the magnetic fields on an azimuthal equidistant projection, wow, that's a mouthful. The Bermuda Triangle seems to be in a very, really strange part in terms of the magnetic fields that are going on there. So I could probably believe that people could go off course there. because there seems to be some strange magnetic activity which would lend itself to people getting lost. So, other than that, I don't know.
Yeah, just like a collision point where all the where it's all colliding at once, and it's just probably disturbance, and probably just makes the compass go crazy.
Or point a way you wouldn't expect it to, more likely, and leading you to the wrong direction.
I don't know, again, how much credence, but I saw one video that talked about that's where all the spaceships that NASA sends up and they start curving and they go away from you, they end up going in that Bermuda Triangle. So they've got all this, again, I can't validate this, but they got all this scary stuff about the Bermuda Triangle because they don't want anybody over there because they got to go recover their spaceships. It was pretty interesting, though.
I think I saw that same video, and if you look at the times of when it first started to become a shady kind of area, it was within months of the first Cape Canaveral launches.
No, I'm sure there's stuff documented before that ship's getting lost. Maybe that's just propaganda and lies, but it does make logistical and geographical sense that would be the case, though. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then the people are disappearing because they see what's happening, and so they can't be allowed to talk, so they disappear. I mean, it would make a good movie for sure.
A good movie, what? Someone coming across, like, crashed spacecraft?
Well, if you make a good movie, you're leaving Florida towards Bermuda, and you're just having a good old time, and next thing you know, you see the spaceship landing somewhere in front of you a few miles, and you see all these Navy ships going to gather, but they see you seeing them.
Did you know that the embargo against Cuba ended right around the same time the shuttles mission program ended with NASA? When we stopped launching shuttles, all of a sudden Cuba became cool. Interesting. I just thought.
No,
because I always postulated whether they landed the shuttles in Cuba or not.
Hello.
But if that's true, that would mean that the government's lying to us.
Yeah.
Kosha's here.
Was that a joke? I think someone was being facetious.
Yeah, not to interrupt, but to interrupt, I want to say hi to you, Nathan.
Hello, Les. Good to have you.
And I caught your last stream. I was listening in.
Good stuff.
So I'm not in the FE 2.0 chat right now, right? Like I'm not in both.
No, you're just in science versus
here
pseudoscience.
Right,
take it you relatively.
Yeah. So I'm here talking to you.
Yeah. Science versus pseudoscience is the Discord server you're in.
I heard you, Nathan. I want to ask you a personal question, if I may.
If you have to.
Yeah. This thing. I heard you railing off on Hubert, right? And you gave him 16 warnings or whatever it was. You know, that's not important, the number. But you gave him like 16 warnings, right?
16. I don't really know. I don't follow what you're talking about. 16 warnings. What?
Or like what was it? Fun button demute or something like that.
Oh right, Rumpus Fundy Glowhead muting me 21 times. I counted them off. I didn't warn him. I just counted them off. But yeah,
is that right? Is that a common occurrence?
That they will just not let you give a rebuttal and talk through you. Is that the question?
So, like, if we have a discussion or a debate, would I be allowed to speak?
Of course. We're speaking now.
Well, yeah. Yeah, of course. Like, this is our first meeting. This is the first time I'm meeting you. And full disclosure, I called you a dumbass before. You know, that's but okay. I only had the viewings of you yelling at people.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, what you're asking is, could we have a reasonable discussion? Well, that depends how the discussion goes. So often it is necessary to interrupt if somebody makes, say, a fallacious claim, or waffles on indefinitely without backing up anything they're saying, makes endless claims, one after the next, again without backing them up with any evidence. At some point you've got to interrupt that.
Is that a proper debate, though? Like, they are allowed their allotted time, correct?
No, they get to make a claim and then support it with evidence.
And then it's not a proper debate.
What?
What do you mean proper debate? You make a single claim, then you support it.
How is that not reasonable?
No, in a proper debate, you are given a allotted amount of time to.
You make a claim and then you support it. We're not sitting here listening to retards drone on for hours about nonsensical buffoonery. A single claim, then you support it. Then you move on to the next claim.
It's not about droning on or about claims.
Yeah,
it's about allotted time.
Either do it or fucking get out.
Okay, hold on. So you feel that if you were running the debate, you would give people an allotted amount of time?
I think that I would be a proper moderator.
Oh, really? And do you have a show? Maybe you should try doing it.
No.
Well then, why are you telling me about your vast experience in debating and running YouTube shows if you don't do it? So you haven't got the vaguest clue what it would take to do what I do, but you're telling me how I should do it, regardless of your total lack of experience and now your constant interruptions of me pointing out that you're critiquing something that you literally have no idea about. So thank you for your critique, Mr. I haven't got the vaguest idea how to run a debate or a YouTube channel. I really appreciate your criticism.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the show, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Flatzoid, Chocolate Sane, Jibby Jedi, Quantum Eraser, Paul and 10th Man in G+. Very good to have you all.
Good to be here.
Yo.
Mahalo.
Hello, and we're also joined by a whole bunch of people in the Discord server. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be.
Good times for all.
Indeed. Subscribe today. Any evidence of Earth curvature?
From Andorra.
Only on the
Definitely not from England.
Nathan,
Not from Transylvania.
Nathan,
Andorra,
Not from
it's a
London.
municipality.
how do I get privileges to type? What do I have to do?
To type in the Discord server. I can't tell you. I'm not.
Yeah,
It's not my server, to be perfectly honest. So I don't really know how to operate it. I don't know how. I've never typed it's in this server, so I don't know. Any?
I kind of like your laugh. You know, I'm just getting.
Excuse
to
me,
know
sir.
you, Nathan.
Les, no offence. We have this process called housekeeping, where we discuss the intricacies of the globe lie, and all we're doing is keeping house, checking that if you have any of these things. So you don't need to interrupt me or nod along or confirm that you can hear me.
I know that you don't
Les, you don't need to nod along. You see, when you asked in the pre-show if we can have a discussion, what that involves is you not talking while I'm talking. So you seem to be critiquing me and my pointing out that someone interrupted me 21 times. Now you're doing it. I'll try again without interruption. Hopefully you don't nod along saying yes as I'm saying what I'm saying. You actually listen with your mic closed. We'll see how you get on, Les. So I'm asking a series of questions in regards to the fundamental lie we've been told about the nature of our reality. I take this quite seriously, and each time we start the show we ask these questions to ascertain, the people on the panel like yourself, if you have any evidence of things like axial rotation. Do you have any evidence that the Earth is rotating about an axis, Les? Or anybody on the panel for that matter?
I was trying to save us some time and trying to tell you that I know about your housekeeping questions.
That's fascinating. Do you have any evidence of axial rotation? Anybody on the panel?
No.
Nope.
Definitely not.
Not from Sri Lanka.
Incredible.
Not on Earth.
The majority of the Western world. Oh, here we go.
Can't.
Excellent. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you sound like Kojo.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm Kosho 2.0.
Yeah, I thought so. That's Kojo.
if you think so.
Yeah, I don't know. You sound like it, sir.
It isn't
I don't
kosher.
care who he is.
I will back Les up on this.
I don't care. The majority of the Western world believes that the Earth is rotating about an axis. Is there no evidence of this? Good afternoon, Arwin.
Hello. Hello?
Amazing. Hey, Arwin. Hey.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, no axial rotation.
Nathan, I know that the axial rotation is. I would like the permissions to type in your chat if you would like to grant me that option.
Sorry.
How many times you got to tell you?
I was
It's
subtle.
not his chat.
I was subtle last time. Yeah, I don't really want to discuss the administration of you being able to type in the Discord server, as it's a live show where we talk to each other. So your ability to chat in a chat I don't even look at doesn't concern me while I'm doing housekeeping. I just need to know about axial rotation, and you're wanting to type. So do you want to tell us if you have some proof that the Earth's spinning?
This is your channel,
rather than
so
interrupting me
I
before I've concluded my sentence,
so
it seems you're talking through me again. You'll know when I stop talking because I'll stop talking. So you don't need to start at the point you think is appropriate to talk through me. The thing you criticised me of when you joined the pre-show. So this is the second time I've pointed out that you criticised me for pointing out that I was interrupted 21 times and how you felt that was somehow unreasonable, or asked about whether or not it was normal, and now you're doing it. So I want a yes or no answer to this closed question directed at you, Les. Do you have evidence that the Earth's rotating?
So you assume my position is what I'm
No,
gathering.
that doesn't assume your position, you complete fucking idiot. It asks a simple closed question with a yes or no answer. It doesn't assume anything. Do you have evidence that Earth is rotating? Someone could ask me that question, and they wouldn't know my position on this regard. I'd just say no.
Well, then we are in accord.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Try to type now, Les.
Yeah. We've all got something to bring to this conversation, I believe, Les. The thing you should bring is silence.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Les.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
No, none at all.
None whatsoever.
Of what?
That's scientific.
None in Transylvania.
Scientific evidence of what? What is it?
Gravity, Arwin. Is there any scientific evidence of gravity?
I don't understand the claim. What is gravity?
They don't understand the claim either.
Because in the
What is gravity? Next
field,
question.
They don't use a scientific method. It's unheard of.
Gravity and Coriolis are the same thing. I pee in the toilet, and then I see
Actually, the P stream is more of a DNA strand, kind of.
Does it all go down the toilet?
Oh God!
Yeah, we're gonna get
Most
into
of
the
it is DNA, huh?
housekeeping.
Oh my brother! Oh. There we go.
That was funny.
So, is there? Again, there's a large chunk of Western society that believe in this not force that people can think of as a force called gravity, based on the bending of a conceptual medium dreamt up by a chap called Einstein. Is there no scientific evidence for this complete nonsense that people believe in?
No.
Definitely not scientific.
Yeah,
You can-
I concur with no.
You can walk up to anybody.
Just go
and say,
outside.
do you think
Gravity's
time
holding
is
you to the
bending
ground.
anything? And
Here we
they
go.
would
Got
say
a plane.
no.
Hold on, 10th man. I'm really sorry. Go ahead, my friend. I heard just go outside. Gravity's holding you to the ground.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
really?
go outside.
Ow.
It's holding you there. Otherwise, what else
You
is
didn't
it?
listen to the question.
So would that be
Scientific evidence for gravity. Can you people hear?
No, they can't. They only hear what they want to hear. So is that scientific evidence? What's your name, my friend?
No, I was just being facetious again. That's every time you point out that there's no scientific evidence, they just say, "Well, yeah, but gravity. What do you mean?"
I see.
That was a tease.
It is. It was a tease. It was a tease. But thank you. I appreciate your.
Sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
but-
My sarcasm is very thick and
Yeah, very.
It's all
sorry.
good.
Oh,
But it is kind of a thing that every time gravity is brought up among ballers, that at least everybody like tries to conceptualize from their perspective what they think it is.
Usually people
Like
just drop
sometimes a
something.
force, and then it's
Ta-da.
not a force, and that it's you can think of it as a force, and then just all gets lost in nonsense.
a new claim. Did I hear something else from Discord? Go ahead. Rumblings? Was it Demok? No, maybe not.
No, Paul is trying to say something. Can you hear Paul, Nathan?
Yeah, go ahead, Paul.
Oh, I'm trying to help them out, so maybe this might help them. Would me not flying into space be a phenomenon, or me flying up in the air be a phenomenon?
If you just randomly flied up in the air, so you're standing around and then suddenly, well, I'm looking at some person, happens to be you, and they suddenly just fly up in the air. Yeah, that'd definitely be a phenomenon.
No, that's not the question, though. Me not flying up in the air, would that be a phenomenon?
Oh, I missed that.
Standing...
Sorry, my bad. The antithesis of what I said then. You not doing anything? No, that's not a phenomenon. No.
Okay. So me not going into space is not a phenomenon. Okay, cool.
Oh, what? You not randomly flying off and... No, yeah, that's not a phenomenon. That's nothing happening.
Okay, that's it. You can move on.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Nah. All assumptions.
Or maybe a personal apparent distance to the sun, but
Apparent closeness via Dwayne Kellum's balloons.
Do I need to add actual into that housekeeping question? Come on.
Yeah. Apparent.
No. Actual. I want to see a tape measure.
We like saying apparent.
No?
no.
Really?
No
Nathan,
confirmed measure
Nathan.
distance to the sun.
Go on, lads.
Yeah, I'm new to this, this group. I have a question. There is no animosity. It's just pure curiosity. Because I listened to your last stream, and I was listening to this, you call it a roundabout, I call it a merry-go-round, whatever, it's the child's toy, right? I wanted to know what is the value of this demonstration? Like, I don't understand this. please demonstrate, explain it to me as if I was a child.
Well, I don't need to. I don't make a claim in that regard. The words Coriolis effect would never cross my lips, but for the fact that there's a positive assertion from the people who believe they're on a spinning sphere. So I don't need to make anything clear in that regard. I don't use it in any claim I make.
So there's no need for
you were on a spinning sphere if you were illiterate and a farmer immigrant and everything you noticed was flat, stationary? Somebody came upon you and said you live on a spinning globe with Coriolis effect. What would it take to convince you?
Well, it's not about that. My focus is this demonstration with the merry-go-round. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it.
Oh, I see.
don't understand.
No worries. It's just a demonstration of Coriolis effect. You can look it up.
Yeah, well, I understand Coriolis effect.
Well, clearly not, because I detail it with the roundabout and a drone, and you're asking me about that I have detailed.
Let me try to clear it up, Nathan.
He said he understands it. Hold on. He said he understands it. So please define it with citation.
Right. You want me to present you with a model from Wikipedia that has been presented on your streams or Nathan's stream. We are all familiar with this concept. I just don't understand what this demonstration.
I don't think you are.
I don't think you are either.
I think you're a pretender clown.
Yeah,
Did you claim to understand, so prove
Oh
it.
my God.
Sorry.
The purpose of him asking you to recite what the Coriolis effect is and then citation.
I'm not.
What
Nathan,
you said
Nathan,
before
hold
you
on.
interrupt
I'm not
me.
asking about the Coriolis
Yeah, I'm
effect.
asking you
I'm
something,
asking
but
about
again,
this
this will be
demonstration
the
specifically.
fourth time you've interrupted me. Now, you asked in the pre-show if it was normal that I have to count off the amount of times the fundy globehead I'm talking with interrupts me. This would be number 4 for you. That would be number 5. So from this point on, it will become normalised because you're talking through me. So far, that's the 5th interruption. So please, that's the 6th interruption. So please, I appreciate that on 6 prior occasions you felt the need to interrupt me. Please don't do it a 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th time. That gets very irritating very quickly. Especially from a person. That's the 7th time. That's the 7th time this asshole has interrupted me. Let's start calling him what he is, an asshole. Because it's the 7th time he's interrupted me. So I'll try once more. I don't make any claims in regards to Coriolis effect. The example we give with a drone and a roundabout, merry-go-round, whatever the hell you like, is simply detailing what Coriolis effect is, and you're asking me about that. Now, you've been asked, given that you have stated that you understand it and we all understand it, that you demonstrate that you do understand it by telling us what Coriolis effect is and then backing it with a citation. Over.
Oh, am I allowed to speak now? I'm not over speaking, right? I simply asked why I don't understand this presentation. I don't understand the scaling up of it. We all talk about this stuff. We all know what the Coriolis effect is. It's a matter of if it can be applied to a globe, right?
Tell
That's
us then.
The core of it,
Tell us what it is.
Chocolate. The waffling, bro. It's not gonna really fly here, man.
You just need to define it.
Define it.
Yeah.
Well, I fully know this, Choco, but I have to say.
I don't want you to tell us 6 more times that you understand it or call him Choco. You just need to tell us what it is and then back it with citation. I'll give you one more attempt to prove you understand what it is, and then I'm just going to kick you out for being a wanker who constantly interrupts and doesn't back anything with citation. Again, in the pre-show, you bleated that people should get an allotted time, and we pointed out that we prefer people make a claim and then support it. You claim you understand Coriolis effect. Now support it by telling us what it is.
Just boot me, Nathan. Kick me out.
Why? Don't you know what it is? Wouldn't you prefer to just demonstrate that you do know what you know because you've said you know it?
Essay. Your turn.
Come on, let's just have the conversation, man.
You said you wanted to compare what I did by demonstration to what a globe does. So you want to transpose this into your begging the question fallacy. I heard that bit. But before we can do that, we'd need to know what it was and whether or not you understand what Coriolis is. And you'd rather be kicked out than define Coriolis. Amazing. Shout out to Awakened Marriage.
It's quitting.
Les, this is simple shit, man. This conversation could have been over if you'd explained Coriolis. Very simply, it's very simple to explain what the Coriolis effect is. You understand this. I don't understand why you're not doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm done with it. I'm gone. I'm leaving.
Not for nothing, him explaining it with a roundabout
So you were
and
challenged,
is
and
like
so
explaining
you quit
it to a
when you were
child.
challenged.
Why you fall for this guy's game? He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows the argument sideways from now to Sunday. He's just playing with us.
That's okay. I don't need. I got what I wanted out of him. I got him to the point where he explained that what he wants to do is compare my example to his begging the question fallacy. He made it explicitly clear he wants to compare that to a globe model. So what he wants to do is use my example to beg the question. Oh, right. Well, isn't it amazing how quickly I led you to declare that you needed to beg the question of a spinning ball Earth? Whoever the hell you are, Les. Yeah, that was pretty concise. Pretty quickly unpicked that nonsense. Back to the begging question fallacy. That's the, eighth person to do that in 72 hours.
Yeah, and he didn't know what the Coriolis effect was, even though he claimed he did.
That's correct.
And to prove something, you have to understand what you're proving is. So you need to define it and then walk through each step of the proof of that, right? Wouldn't that make logical sense?
Yeah, that's the point he gave up and ran away. Because he knows that just by defining the Coriolis effect, it will undo any argument that asserts that Earth has that effect. Because he'd have to define it with the two separate reference frames that are claimed to be Earth spinning and an atmosphere above it. And planes would have vastly reduced air travel time travelling west if the Earth was spinning underneath them, as would be described in a definition of the Coriolis effect.
I think part of the problem is that so many people, the rhetoric is so thick that so many people only think that Coriolis effect is related to Earth and has no other use of Coriolis in their regular life. And the only time they hear about it is in relation to Earth turn.
And that's precisely how they want it to be. And any examples of actual Coriolis effect will immediately be strapped down and locked tight to the non-inertial spinning reference frame, so that they can later beg the question that Earth is a non-inertial spinning reference frame. It's just a ham-handed way, a little segue, using this word, Coriolis, to beg the question of a spinning ball Earth. It'll never happen again here. It's never gonna. It's like it's as stupid as assuming someone can come along with the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking curve calculator and assert it proves Earth's a sphere. They'll never get away with that either. They're never going to get away with using Coriolis as a segue to beg the question. It's just never going to happen. They're just going to get laughed at from now on.
I mean, they might as well come in with the toilet flush, the reverse toilet flush crap.
Exactly.
I mean, that's where the Coriolis is right now, in the toilet.
Yeah, with them, because they don't understand.
Any evidence?
Never will. I have yet to hear one retard baller state what the Coriolis effect is and provide a demonstration. Yet, in 3.5 years.
Can you back off your mic just another couple of inches? Thank you. There's been a couple of super chats from Awakened Narrative, so I do want to shout him out. I only got half a shout out for him a moment ago, so if you can just give me a couple of seconds, I'll dig them out. So shout out to Awakened Narrative, who says, make them squeal. Debate team, truth is winning. Thank you very much for the super chat, Awakened Narrative. And then he says the same again. Make them squeal, Nathan. The globe lie is dead. Really appreciate all your support, Awakened Narrative. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. So, any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Oh dear.
I have evidence of an ironic core.
Negative.
Well, maybe there's a pseudo core.
What, fake? Fake core?
A sham?
Maybe.
Sham core?
Maybe it's an apparent core.
What about the presupposition itself? Earth radius, the R value.
Well, that
YouTube
would take
claims
us back
they
to
don't
question
have to
number
make-
one, which is Earth curvature. We would need that. And somebody would have to measure that and then measure the radius. That would need to be measured too. So we don't even have the first question, the curvature. So I don't know how we got a radius of a ball with no curvature that doesn't exist.
Could I be cheeky and just say radius of what?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Arwin. Radius of what? Oh, the ball I'm going to presuppose Earth is. That would be the answer.
Right.
Ooh,
What
that's
ball?
gonna be a problem.
But then
Yep.
I would say what ball? We say the ball
Spot
you're
on.
trying to measure.
Go on,
Or
Travis.
what
The
ball
other
are we
Travis.
trying to measure? There's no ball.
But there must be, because we already know the distance to the sun, so it must be a ball because it's the same.
Right, of course. How do we know the distance to the sun?
It's weird. All of these questions all lead into each other, and every time they think they have one, it goes to the other one, and where they come full.
Well, that's exactly the point. If one of these questions can't be answered, well, then you don't have any of the other ones. All these
The
questions
answer-
need to have a specific answer in order for this to be a ball.
To
And
answer the
and
question,
they fail. I'm sorry, Tim. They fail at question one.
it's okay, Chaco. Hey, Nathan, gosh, you got a super chat. I'll finish once you read it.
Okay, Captain Will, massive thanks for the super chat. It says, shout out to the new and improved Charco nickname.
Cacao.
Is that what it is?
Chaco, the guy called Chocolate Chaco.
Oh, cacao. Oh, right. Okay.
Cacao saying he's
Cacao.
blacker than ever.
Gotcha. Shout out to the new and improved Cacao nickname. Got you. And then another shout out to
That's
MC
east of
Universe.
Java.
Nearly there. Another shout out to MC Universe Sacred Truth Seeker, who sends me some unicorn farts. Thank you very much indeed. Go ahead, 10th man.
He didn't call him Cacao. He called him Chaco.
I know, I called it Cacao.
All right.
I said, like, hey, if you're gonna call him Choco, then call it appropriate and go back to the original name. What chocolate
call
is
him
made
white
of? It's made of cacao, boys and girls.
Wow. Very deep. Thank you. Dave,
chocolate.
when your whole argument is based on begging the question, the only way you get bailed out is to have another begging the question that supports the first one, and then another for that one. So that's why they just keep going from the R to this to the gravity to everything else.
You know what it is, guys? You guys just don't know how to measure triangles. That's what it is. You just can't trig. That's what it is. You just can't trig.
Maths is reality, remember?
If I could trig, would that prove that I live on a ball?
You're supposed to be able to do that. You can use some trigonometry, and you can prove that you live on a ball. Come on, Chocolate, don't you get this?
With math? Where's the actual measurement of the ball?
You got another super chat?
I was going to say, I'll read out Dave Rakia Gafford's super chat. So he says, so what you're saying is Earth isn't spinning, and there is a creator, Rakia Life. That's right, Dave. That's absolutely right. Thanks for the
Could
super
be
chat.
more than one.
Say that again.
I said, so what you're
Could
saying
be
is...
more than one creator.
Can't be more than one creator.
Why?
It's a contradiction in terms.
No, it isn't.
You can't have two creators. The one would have to been created by the other creator. If you had two creators, the other one wouldn't be a creator.
I'm thinking of local, like creators of this, not so much that.
We're talking about the definite
We
article.
don't know where it ends.
No, but you don't know where it begins either.
Right.
It's just that there is creation, so there has to be something that created.
There has to be a beginning
However
and an end.
that happened,
No?
nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Go back to
But
the
it is
logical.
created. That is.
What doesn't
Another quick shout out to Dave Rakia Gafford. Say my name, Nathan. I'm on mute. Don't pass over the truth. God is good. Shout out to David Rakia Gafford.
you have to say?
Well, not localized. Localized, it could be more
There
than
we
one,
go
and then
again.
you go creation above that.
Yeah, but who would create those localized creators? That's the issue.
We can create a localized miniature dome system ourselves.
Yeah, but you would still have been created.
I can hear too many people talking. Hold on.
You're only questioning
Guys. Hello. Hold on. Dave Rakia Gafford says, say it, Nathan. Say it. Dave Rakia Gafford, he wants me to say his name. Great job with this true thing. Rakia Life is here to stay. Thank you very much for all the super chats, Dave Rakia Gafford. Really appreciate your support. I just want to hear a couple of people. Guys, hello. I just want to hear a couple of people at a time. I don't care who they are. If it's Arwin and Jibby or QE and Jibby or whoever and Jibby, I don't care.
Sounds like IQ Flattener 2.0.
Who's what? Say again, Travis.
I said it sounds like IQ Flattener 2.0. Over.
Oh no, you'd be surprised. Jibby's a smart guy.
Can I say something about
I get
the
lucky
creator?
sometimes. Just whoever. Just nominate somebody. Obviously, this has triggered a lot of people. Well done, Jibby. Cool. All
Paul,
for it.
go ahead, Paul.
But who's going to have the conversation with him? Just nominate one person so that it's not constant over-talking.
Me. Just kidding.
Paul wants to talk. Paul,
Paul,
just
go ahead.
Talking.
I'm also named Paul.
Jebby, do you know what the infinite regress fallacy is?
Is that where, like, who created God, that kind of thing, mirror in the mirror?
Right. So you can't have an infinite regress. So there has to be an initial cause. So that's what John's talking about. So
What's the initial cause?
And
why do you only give singular creator?
Well, wait a minute. Even though you may farm out or subcontract, of course, Lily decides to scream. Even if you subcontract out the work, there's still only one creator that's the creator of everything.
All right, if you're going back to prime source, the creator of the creators, or in parentheses S.
Yeah, that was the context, though.
We could be a sub-creation of creation.
Well, but I don't think anything bears that out. I mean, in the biblical worldview, all things visible and invisible were created by one, not multiple. There was one creator.
In that book, format of this one region where the book is, predominantly sound. There's other regions that believe different things, reincarnation and whatnot. I always give the open door to more than one creator. Like, where's
we
Mrs.
already
God?
just showed you that's
we can't have a man or a woman without a man and a woman to create
what the hell are you talking
Mrs.
about?
God. Well,
what in the world are you talking about?
Mrs. God.
Creator.
Yeah.
There can only be one creator. I said definite article, right? Stick to that creator, not people creating stuff on Earth. We're talking about the creator of the universe. Are you saying there are multiple creators of us in the universe?
I don't know what the universe is in regard to flat Earth, but there could be more than one creator to this realm.
There we go again. And please demonstrate how.
I'm just saying the possibility, open door. I'm not saying definite, demonstrable evidence. I'm just saying that possibility.
I'm not going to do it again.
How can we nail down one creator only as a definite?
You overtalk me again, right?
I apologize.
You're just going to repeat the same claim again like you did 3 times already. I'm not playing this game.
I just have an open door to it. I don't know.
Well, I'd like to play this game with him if he wants.
You can. Fine, just let me shout out Awaken Narrative. Shout out to the chat team. Squashing the globe. Really appreciate your support, Awaken Narrative. Fine, Arwin. Go ahead.
Right. So there is a little point, but it's not the same type of discussion. But for me, what I've been pointed at in the face of biblical information is that when creation of the earth realm was done, it's the Elohim, as in not really a singular thing. But that doesn't undo your argument, though, QE, because it's not about the individuals. It's like this argument is not about the gradient, it's about the antecedent. So you can argue like the individual aspects within it all day long. Doesn't take away that there's just an antecedent situation going on, and that is there is creation. So it must have somehow originated from a singular being.
I just have to say it's awesome to hear Owen talk from the Bible.
The idea could be singular. The manufacturing could be plural, is all
But
I'm saying.
again, you're
Maybe.
talking about the gradient, not about the
Yes.
antecedent.
Yes.
Those are secondary causes.
Right. That's
Sure.
kind of what I was alluding
Sure.
to.
Somebody made the trees. Somebody made the cells. Somebody made the atmosphere. I don't know. Yeah, like a plural effort is what I was saying.
Right, from secondary causes.
Yes.
Okay, fine. We're settled.
Yeah,
Next
I have a
housekeeping
question mark there. I have no definites.
No,
Like,
that's okay.
maybe.
Well,
I don't know.
the only problem you run into though is these multiple God ideas. So there's multiple creators, so to speak, which means the ultimate, the ultimate being of all things. You can't have multiple of those. There can only be one. So it's always gonna go back to grounding of one absolute being, all of it. Even if there is multiple things out there. I mean, I think even C.S. Lewis.
Yes,
C.S. Lewis,
just the way the cell duplicates, kind of like it starts at a single cell.
Another shout out to Awaken Narrative says, Truth Life, no name above his name. Truth Life. Awaken Narrative, thank you very much again for the super chat.
It does appear.
Well,
Prime
the
source
sons of
is
God,
singular.
though.
but
I
a
think
cell
the
is still
question
created
might
thing. The ultimate creator is not a creation.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything,
Well said.
anything else, everything, like even if, let's say, I'm gonna give like I think I know what Erwin's saying. Let's say God, he created an angel and he says, "Go make the firmament." He could have done that, but
The hands. I call the Elohim the hands of the creator.
but that still doesn't mean that thing that created the so-called firmament is the creator. He's an instrument of the creator.
A helper.
Okay,
The hand.
sorry, this has gone so far off. Yeah, I appreciate what you're saying about the derivatives of the creator, but I'm sure, I can't remember who to give him credit, but somebody at the start of this conversation said, isn't that inherent in the name? Creator, i.e. singular? That's where we're at, right? Other than deriving stuff that came after that singular, it's a infinite regress fallacy to say who created the creator's creator.
But I think that there should be distinguishment between design and build. Because the creator is in the design. There is the proof. And that doesn't require the creation or the designer to be created itself.
All right. Well, let me just say, like, what if you're currently illiterate and you have no book, you have no anything, and you're to gauge your existence and reality and whatever, would you use a singular creator or plural, or would you just leave it open?
It's not up to the clay to figure out anything. The thing made is the thing made. The potter decides what the clay looks like. So whether you're illiterate, blind, or not, or the smartest guy in the world, has nothing to do with it.
Okay, so I'm hoping this will...
Isn't there a bigger question of like, what is the nature of reality in the first instance?
Yeah, we live in a quantum world. I hope this super chat distracts away nicely. So P-Brain, thank you very much for the super chat. It says, oceans would never rotate with the Earth. They'd rush to the equator. Keep killing it, guys. Thank you very much indeed for the super chat. Also, a shout out to MC Universe Sacred Truth Seeker, who says, what if Elohim are artificial intelligence? Good question. Hopefully you'll get answered after I shout out Dave Rakia Gifford, who says, the creator, the great I am, the most high, God doesn't need help. Excellent.
Right.
Got one more
I don't know how many you've had here, but I consider myself a V. Arthur. I don't consider it simulation. I consider it a VR, as in a brand new creation. Like, what is Qbert or Pac-Man a simulation of? It's not a simulation of anything. It's a brand new creation, which is what I consider this, a VR, which in kind of a way, the Bible kind of suggests. Like, we existed before, we exist after. This
We
is
didn't exist before.
Virtual reality.
We did not exist
No, but
before.
that's another aspect of reality.
Wait
This
a
is the
minute.
physical realm.
Wait a minute. The Bible cited. Where does it say we existed before?
All right, it doesn't suggest that, but the majority
No,
of the world
teaches,
pretty much feels they existed before this place.
You said the Bible.
Some kind of innate memory or something.
Then don't say the Bible says we existed before, because it says the
Okay,
exact
thank you.
opposite.
I thought it insinuated it, but
It does.
I don't
No,
think
it
it
actually
specifically says it. No. Which
actually
means that
says-
every soul would be then
Forget
brand
it.
new. So there's a source spitting out thousands of souls brand new every day. Here.
Just say Roger when you're done.
Roger.
Hey, if you want to have this conversation, please come on my early bird. No, I'll round it out. But I want this conversation on my show.
That was
There will
a
be
cue
no
for you, Arwen.
interruptions.
Yeah,
I
when will you
like
ever
this
learn,
conversation.
Arwen? When will
Jesus
you ever
Christ, can I
learn?
just invite him?
This will go on forever, 10th man, unless you just let him. He'll take 10 seconds, I'm in no doubt.
Well, let me
go on,
finish his ending. He said, Jesus Christ, finish it right. King of kings and Lord of lords. Don't use in the curse word or out of frustration.
Yeah. No,
Thank
I
you.
appeal to him in my
Okay,
frustration.
look, Alwyn, you said I'll round it out. 10th man wants to round it out, but yeah, no blasphemy. Just please give us your 10 seconds, because it's getting further on away from 10th man's point with every second.
Blaspheming.
No?
I'm not blaspheming, one. And second, I like this train of thought. I've been trying to dive into complex biblical issues myself similarly. So I'd love to have a discussion with this guy on my channel. If he could add me on Skype, please. It has to be through Skype.
You're just
That would
borrowing on Skype.
Fine.
You're gonna have
gentlemen.
complex biblical issues from Jibby,
You're
who
both
just
in Master
admitted
B.
Not
I clicked
complex,
it.
just, maybe outside the lines.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
It's like so rude. He's desperately
I've
trying
been
to
a
get
VR guy before.
Getting triggered.
It's not getting triggered, it's just getting everyone's being really rude to him.
I call it simulatory.
Ugh,
That's what I
guys.
call it.
Arwin, Jibby, 10th man's been desperately trying to get his words in for the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay.
All right. That which is natural is first. Then, that which is spiritual. Now I'm all confused. Your natural first, then spiritual. The Bible doesn't teach that you were here before you were given a body. The Bible doesn't teach that.
I'm trying to look
teaches-
at it as if I was illiterate and didn't have the Bible, and how would I perceive this?
Well, this is again. You have so many. How could I put it? Variables there. If you were illiterate, I could paint you in this storyline. You're born, you're illiterate, but you didn't create yourself. So how would you look at that? Someone created you, but you just happen to be illiterate. Well, who created you?
But
Well,
what I see of creation as
I was in the middle of a
created by
conversation.
mother and father.
I was in the middle of a sentence.
I apologize.
You were created because of your mother and father, and then they were created because of their mother and father. These are all secondary. The primary is God, who created everything. Now, if you want to go and discuss who created God, then you're going to have a problem, because God says he's self-existing. He's not self-created. Because then if he was created, there would be a God before him. So
And
it's
my
a logical
point
fallacy.
is that, my point is that your evidence of creation of living beings require two. It requires a mother and a father, and then you reference the Bible as saying,
No.
Singular.
No,
Singular
that's
created plural.
No, you missed the whole point. If God wanted to have offspring to come off of one person. He could have designed it that way, but he didn't. He designed it with a woman and a man. It's God who
but
creates.
where's your evidence of that?
Well, my evidence is very simple. The very reason you and Arwen want to get together and discuss the Bible, my evidence is in the Bible.
Okay, well, so you're citing a book as your evidence. Okay, all right.
I'm
That's all I
citing
was asking.
not only the book, I'm citing reality. It takes a man and a woman to do it.
Yes, reality takes two.
Okay, no,
Bibles is one.
it does not. You need a knower of the path information to create matter. A single knower. There's the evidence. Do you want to go through the evidence? I have scientific evidence for it.
Sure.
That's what I thought. Well, scroll down in the info box on this video, right? It has creator versus atheism. There's 4 proofs right there. Go ahead and go through them and then come back when you've debunked any of them. Thanks.
Okay.
Jimmy, let me finish.
Hold on, let's talk to QE.
I have a question.
Let me talk to QE. Wait me a second.
finish.
2 seconds.
Let me.
QE, can you just back off your mic a couple more inches? It's just I'm having to turn you down every time you talk.
Can I finish? Because I have to go
I'll
get
do it real
tires
quick.
for my truck.
Go ahead, 10th.
All right, I'll finish because I have to go get tires for my truck. I don't need God. I mean, I don't need. How can I put this? Let me just say it just bluntly. I can just look at creation and know there's a creator. I don't need faith. My logic, my mind is working. I see creation. I instantly think creator. I don't need faith to believe in a creator. Okay, because it's in nature. God has put it here to where I don't have an excuse to offer down the road when I want to offer an excuse. Because he says, you saw it in creation. You knew creation couldn't exist without a creator. What was your passion about it? Did you have one? Did you look for me? Did you seek for me? That's where it starts. So faith comes afterwards. I already know there's a creator. I just got to find him.
Okay, ideas do come from singular. Ideas. Life comes from plural. Ideas are singular, yes.
Well, wait a minute.
Question,
There's a problem there, though. There's a problem. Okay, you said life can only come from multiple. Well, if God is the creator of life, then he's the source of life. So he can be singular and still be the source of life. It's not illogical.
I've never seen an example of singular source of life.
Really?
Well, you're looking at creation, so you're going to see that. But I mean, if God is the initial cause of existence, then if only life can, you cannot get life from non-life. So God has to have life within himself. So he creates
Sorry, before everyone rumpuses, just want to add this in because it's already been said once, so I just don't want it to slip on by. So QE just said this. So he said, how'd you get life from singular? But QE said to get matter, you'd need a singular knower. Now that was very concise, but the more expansive version is in the info box below this video. So I think it's called Science versus Scientism, the Creator versus Atheism, and it has precisely what QE just detailed, scientific evidence of that statement.
He also has to define what life is. Do you know what asexual reproduction is, sir?
Yes, and I was thinking of that example as I was saying it. Yes, asexual reproduction. Okay, that is an example of singular.
Yeah, thanks.
But then we have to definitely associate the creation of all as that specific example.
No, we don't. Can we move on, because this is a nowhere discussion with nowhere claims? And
yeah, I agree. It's Bible-y arguing. I agree. We should move on.
Oh yeah, the argument's been over for the past 20 minutes.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
Hold on. Someone in Discord still got something to add. So go ahead, Discord, whoever that was.
No, I appreciate the knower and the path and the fact that, you know, you have to, if we know about it, it can change reality. And given that we now have uncovered this entirely huge lie, that would mean that basically every single book would kind of have to be rewritten in a way. and I'm not, hashtag same team. I'm curious as to what would make, and the 10th man and Paul and QE, what is it that's bringing you back to the Bible? Not that I'm, I never would have, all my life was an atheist in science and all that stuff. And, at the bottom of the glass, God is waiting, and I get all of that. But probably the most controversial book at this point would be something in the Bible. And I'm just curious as to what makes you guys go back to that. As I'm trying to put this delicately. Does this make sense at all?
Yeah, it makes sense. Just answer one question before the panel does. Have you read the Bible?
It's been years, back in the day.
Anybody on the panel want to field that? Who's put to several people, Paul, 10th, and QE?
Yeah, I explain it in the Creator versus Atheism presentation. It's at the end, it's the last part. I answer that question. And I've played it a number of times on here. So
about going back to the Bible being like literally.
From there.
Can I say something about it?
Ken, I just want to shout out Flat Ball. So, crab stick in cornetto for Alan. Okay, I don't know what that means, but thank you very much, Flat Ball, for the super chat.
I mean, really simply, the Bible, in the sense, describes reality, what we see. You could see the corruption of mankind. It's in there. It sees the creation of the world. It's in there. Obviously, it has the flat Earth that's in there. You also have the nature of redemption that's in there. So, in a way, that I say, whatever religion best describes reality, that's where you go to. And the Bible does seem to describe what we observe and experience very regularly.
It does. And there are books that I could cite that say it was a dark and stormy night, and Skeletor and Optimus Prime took over Megatron's world of, and the rest is fiction, but it starts real because it has real elements of reality we can identify with in it.
But there's a difference, though. There's a difference between Megatron and the Bible, though. The Bible has historical evidence backing it up. Megatron does not.
It has evidence.
It's just using archetypes.
I'm on board with a lot of the Bible. Don't get me wrong.
Kick your God's ass.
Yeah, I'm just saying if things can be corrupted as much as they have been, how or why is this book not been corrupted, especially given the different versions of it throughout what we claim to think we know of as history, even though we know that history has been altered in ways. You know what I mean?
You test it. It's got over 8,000 prophecies. So you test it. That's what you do.
Shout out to Isa Maholsky. Shout out to Isa Maholsky. He says Jabiru 2020 and then a fire. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Shout out to Isa.
To say that it's been corrupted, okay, you have to deal with the manuscripts and textual criticism that a lot of scholars go through. Like for the New Testament alone, there's over 5,000 manuscripts that are spread throughout the Mediterranean world that they compare to see how the Gospels that are written or Paul's letters that are written, that they can compare it to. To say it's corrupted, that means you just have to say all those manuscripts are corrupted. And if you want to say that the Old Testament is corrupted, that means you have to say that every Bible version that the Jewish person has carried down from generation to generation has been corrupted. And also, they proved that the Old Testament was very reliable because they found the Dead Sea Scrolls in the 1960s that actually had the whole book of Isaiah in it, and they compared it to the manuscripts they had today, and there was only like slightly maybe punctuational issues that were difference between the two. So to say the Bible's corrupted, you're going to have to go through and show that every bit of this archaeological and historical evidence is invalid. But you can't.
Yeah, you
I'm just saying, given the level of corruption that we are now amongst, and we see the level of corruption, and literally, I'm in a hotel right now, and on the friggin' sink, it's got a picture of a ball tilted, and it says "Save our planet," and with the friggin' towels. I mean, it's so, everything has to be called into question. Everything we think we know, we have to think we don't know. I don't know. It's just, once you come to this, it's like everything.
No. You're right. You just have to test everything.
Yeah, I think we've gone around in a full circle now. So you're saying, well, I believe everything could potentially be corrupt, and the answer you've got is, well, test the claims. That's the answer. So, yeah, I think we've come full circle now. Can we round out housekeeping?
Okay, no, that's fine. That's. I was just curious. Hashtag same team.
Yeah, I know. Nobody's being overtly aggressive towards you, and it's the same questions I've asked. And to be honest, I got the same responses. So no, don't worry about it.
No. I don't know. I'm just saying. I know it can be kind of a touchy subject for in the past and whatever. I was always curious because I'd never in my life, like I said, atheist all day, until you start to realize stuff, and it's kind of a crazy turnaround.
I appreciate that. I don't think you've got anything to worry about. But on the other hand, Jibby comparing the God of the Bible to Megatron, that's an outrage. Megatron would kick that god's ass.
Hail Megatron.
Yeah, he's a giant gun.
Starscream all day. It's all about Starscream.
Yeah, screaming at the stars. Anyway, add me on Skype, buddy.
Yeah.
It's not cheapers. There's no good.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Got 5 minutes left and one housekeeping question that didn't get covered. Any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container?
Gravity is all you need.
You got more than you got one more left.
Sorry.
Yes, I have. You're right.
Nathan, I got a video for that housekeeping question.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's in Skype. It's a quick 1 minute one.
Whereabouts in Skype? Skype's a big place.
It's a minute long. Whoever it can.
Okay, I got it. I think.
I'm sure he means Master P.
Yeah, it's in Master B.
Does it need volume? Do you need the audio?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a soundbite, I think.
Volume, V, and over here is going to be vacuum of equal volume, and we're going to remove the barrier. You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume once it becomes available. Right? You know what's going to happen spontaneously, right? The gas is going to fill the available volume once it becomes available.
Very good stuff.
Nice.
Okay, so is there any evidence in the entire history of the fields of cosmology, astronomy, and astrophysics what's going on? Of any verified scientific hypothesis from any of those fields in their entire history?
Nope.
No. Viable. Not verified. Viable. One single viable scientific hypothesis in the entire history of astronomy, astrophysics, or cosmology.
Does peer review count?
No. A hypothesis apparently doesn't have to be verified, just has to be viable.
I saw some on the telly.
You saw a valid hypothesis from an astrophysicist, cosmologist, or astronomer?
Well, all he said was science is right, whether you believe it or not.
But that would be a true enough statement, though, wouldn't it? It's only the assertions that come thereafter that are the problem when Neil deGrasse Tyson says that. So saying science is right whether you like it or not, well, yeah, if you've got a valid hypothesis and it's been confirmed by a systematic experiment. Try to pop yourself on... yeah.
That's the genius of their doublespeak. That wasn't, I don't know who was coughing, but that's the genius of their doublespeak, that he's right. And just coming from him makes people think that he's right.
It's a magic spell. He says science is right whether you like it or not, and then doesn't point out that he's not using that. He just makes his next assertion.
Do you have evidence for the...
once you see through it,
witchcraft?
You can't unsee it.
What was that?
Agreed. It does just to round out that housekeeping question though. Does that not, if you're watching this and you're like, these flat earth idiots, doesn't it horrify you that the fields of research that assert the nature of your reality do not have a single viable hypothesis? They have no science. That should horrify you. If you're a flatty, you know this already and you don't care. They're all liars. They claim they've got science because science is right whether you like it or not.
They hand wave it and then they hand wave it and assert formological.
Absolutely. That's all they've got. And with that, I'll say, if you are watching this on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley 1980, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. Another massive thank you to all of today's Discord and G Plus panels for making this live show possible. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on Nathan Oakley premiering stream, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Oh, that was a nice show.
Oh.
Bingy blong. QE's sounds going through his desk of all the people being moved to the after show in Discord. There they go.
Stop
like
playing
magic.
the bongo, John.
Blongy blong.
What's the problem?
No problem. I'm just noting that everyone's getting kicked to the after show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I turned down my mic. Is that better?
Yeah, much better. You're about the same as
Is that
everyone
a
else.
singular mic?
Yeah, Yeti.
Yeah, it's really hard because I can't just turn you down. I actually have to ask you.
Am I still coming in loud? I've adjusted it.
No, you're perfect. Everyone's perfect now.
Okay, thank you.
But I just got zero control over the volume now, which is annoying because obviously I'd prefer to just level you all up at the start of the show, which I can't do anymore. But there we go. Such is life.
Yeah. Courtesy should be apparent.
It's got noted in the comments. A few people are like, why is Arwin so much louder? And you want to say, well, he doesn't appreciate that he's louder because he doesn't know, and I can't do anything about it. Hey, Anon.
And I accidentally get even closer to the mic when I'm really pissed off, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, I try and do the opposite. So if I remember when I'm getting heated, annoyed, pissed off with someone interrupting, I try and actually move the mic away, knowing full well that I'm going to increase my volume.
It's very wise. Well, I'm at the same time trying not to dive into the microphone to the other side.
Arwen, I tried to add you on Skype. I don't know if you see my message. It says we have 7 mutual friends.
Oh, Jason T.
Yes.
Hey, Anon, by the way.
Thanks.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Anon?
And I'm not Sigarwin. I'm Arwin.
Cigarwin.
I know. That's my favorite pseudo Arwen name. There's so many out there. That's my favorite.
Arwen moaned that he was getting trolled by, I think his name's Jason McCormack. He's a concave.
Oh, that's Stephen Christ disciple.
Yeah, you got it. Well, because Arwen complained about it or moaned, now he's got endless Arwen's uncle was a concaver and things like all chat troll names. You know, just to piss him off.
Concave week every week.
I just don't want the nonsense program to be in my spectrum. Today I actually even responded to a concaver somewhere. I rarely even do that because he commented.
We lost 2 members of Flat Earth New England to Concave. We lost Brother Ernest and Flatpool Josh.
Why?
And they both went Concave. One was calling the other nuts, and then when they both got concave, they're the best.
Chocolate.
Yeah, that's really great, but why?
Hold on,
Did they
Chocolate.
find
Chocolate, you're causing loads of
reverse
feedback. Chocolate, you're causing a shitload of feedback.
I bet.
Who's the guy that
just
was?
don't get it with concavity, you know.
Who's the
There's
West?
still no curvature, so what's
But
the
they
point?
answer two questions, and one of them is the South Pole and the North Pole spin. That the concave can kind of answer that, I guess. And looming, super looming.
How?
No, the
Well,
debunk's
when
the
they
same.
see super looming, they say that's concavity. And then you have the plumb bob experiment, which they go by this one experiment, and then you have the sky poles turning, and that's it. And then you ask them anything else.
Just as
What
much
about
a
this? What about
ridiculous
that?
machination as the ball, then, because
Wait a second.
super looming doesn't exist.
Wait a second. You said experiment.
I might have misspoke.
Yeah, they would have called it an experiment. It isn't.
Observation.
They're affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy that they use to affirm the consequent regarding two poles inside a concave Earth rather than outside is identical. It requires the presupposition of a concave Earth rather than a spherical convex Earth. But it's identical in every way. The debunking's the same as well. Who's the guy that said, "Where's the curvature"? He went concave.
Oh, that was
Asano, right?
Zimram.
Oh.
Asano.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What was his name? Zid. What was it?
Zibram, I believe. Rahm.
Zibram. Where is the curvature?
It's been 4 years since I looked at any of this stuff.
Yeah. Where's the curvature? Where? That guy.
And then one day he said, Lord Stephen Christ is correct. He is the savior. Okay, unsubscribe.
Really?
So they found reverse curvature?
That's what I'm saying. If you debunk convex, you've debunked concave. No?
How high do you
Am I
think?
mistaken?
How high what?
If you've debunked
How
convex
do you think?
curvature, you've also debunked concave because it's the same math.
Yes.
Yes.
Same logical fallacies as well.
Yes. So anybody who's been flat Earth who went to concave didn't finish their work on convex debunking.
So what we're saying is at some point, these guys accepted people living antipodal to them, but above their heads.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, where every direction is down, so there's a pressure holding billions of tons of ocean water down against the convex, so Africa's oceans don't fall upon you below, around the celestial sphere of glass in between.
Well, geometrically it doesn't work because you can't fly up and then end up quicker on the other side.
The pressure it would take to hold the oceans down would kill all life.
What?
That's oceans count as one body of mass and weight. You take in like the Pacific Ocean. If you have to use pressure to hold that to the ground.
Wait, what? Is concave Earth actually claiming it's spinning?
No.
Sorry, mic check. Can people hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. How you doing?
Okay.
I'm doing good.
So what do they think
Can I ask?
is some kind of force that's holding down this water then?
Pressure. That's
Why?
it.
Why? How does pressure hold something down?
Like the celestial sphere is the ball of mass in the center of this other exterior shell, and this pressure, which is the atmosphere, and that pressure is being held there by the celestial sphere, and the pressure holds everything down with that pseudo-gravity effect. It's pressure, not gravity. is what they claim
But-
on concave Earth.
But that's not what pressure does.
But
Right.
Doesn't
Right.
make any
But the
sense.
pressure
There's
it would
not
take to
even
hold
a
down an
relative
ocean would
density or
kill
anything.
all life.
But the concave Earth would still require oceans to be bent. That's the end of that for me.
Yeah,
That's
people
correct.
living
Because it has
over
to
my
be bent
head
the other
too.
way.
So
That's correct.
Sorry, Chocolate.
That's absolutely correct, Brian.
Thank you. It's over then.
Yeah.
Oh, Dibby, I watched your spironolactone Greek knucklehead, self-professed quantum physicist video for about 4 or 5 minutes. Friggin' clown didn't even know what a scientific theory was.
The physics, the PhD in physics from MIT, or which one was it?
Yeah, his name. I think he's Greek. I call him spironolactone. He has some type of.
He gave us a good hour of his time.
Well, yeah, he was an amiable fellow, but my son knew more about science than he did.
He brought up the fact to me about the ISS, and I said the thermosphere's temperature, and he said, "Is that stationary or in movement?" And I said, "I didn't even think about that, because the ISS moving through the thermosphere would increase the temperature, like the heat of a bullet moving through the atmosphere."
Yeah, I already had a
And that makes the ISS even more impossible.
No,
I didn't listen to all of it.
How much
no.
more impossible does something need to be before it's truly impossible?
I don't like that debunking. Hold on. Hold on. Gotta get in here. Hold on, Jibby. I hate that debunking. Hold on. I don't like that debunking. And the reason is simple. Robin Poe first did that. She did all the maths, worked out how much interactivity there'd be between the molecules that they claim to be up in that region and how much it would heat it up by. She gave all the maths. The problem is that what you're presenting to an audience is you begging the question that there's a space and that the ISS is in it and why it wouldn't work. Not that space isn't real. So at the end of your presentation of explaining how it would get too hot, and that's debunking it apparently, your audience is still left with the impression that space is real, which it isn't. You don't need to debunk that light in the sky in any other way than to say, where did they say it is? Outer space? No, it isn't. That's not a real place. Or what's that? You say it's in Narnia? No, it's not in Narnia. Do I need to debunk how something in Narnia works? Or that the claimed, let's compare the ISS to the lamppost in Narnia and say, well, according to them, the time dilation that they have in Narnia would mean that the gas is working at a particularly accelerated rate and would just be too dim to see anything. And then you come back with, no, the gas is working at the normal rate in its time period because the time dilation only applies when you go through the wardrobe. Or do you say Narnia's not real? You say Narnia's not real. You don't need to argue about the lampposts and its physics. So we don't need to argue about the ISS. It's claimed that their set is in space. So regardless of what the light we see is, their claim is that that box is in space. Well, it isn't. Space is fake. So that automatically debunks it. And you don't have to beg the question that you've got this region that can't exist and what might happen in that region. So for that reason, I know it's been an elongated explanation. I just hate those sorts of debunkings. It's the same as saying, why wouldn't rockets work in a vacuum?
Right.
Why wouldn't
don't even
rockets
need
work?
to go to that step. Yes.
It's the same thing. Why wouldn't rockets work in a vacuum? Who gives a shit? The sky's not a vacuum.
Yeah, what vacuum?
Like, you don't have to debunk NASA photos because you debunk the medium.
They don't have
Precisely.
photos. And Nathan's correct.
They don't. No.
But precisely, correct. You don't have to debunk the photos, if they claim to be, or images, or CGI. You can just say, where did that photo come from again? Oh, really? From a place that can't exist. No, your photos from Narnia aren't going to cut it. Your photos from space can't be real, because they've claimed to come from a place that isn't real. Automatically debunking any photo that they say has come from that place. Automatically.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yep.
That's why I come here, because of that. Because you just cut out the middleman of having to explain NASA photography, allegedly, its imagery. And yes, if you debunk the medium, you don't have to get to that step.
It's any claim they make from that medium, not just NASA photos. It's every single claim.
Yep. Yep.
I think that's an absolutely ideal time to round out the after show. So with that, I will say another huge, enormous thank you to all of you who did tune in on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. And again, another massive thank you to all of today's debating panel for making this live and after show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!